Hello everyone. Today we discuss about the chapter number 1, uh, introduction, and subtopic we discuss about is a provisional sum. Second is a prime cost. Third one is a provisional quantity. Fourth one is a spot items. Fifth one is a day work. Sixth one is a contingency. Seventh one is a work charge establishment charges, and eighth one is a water charges, and ninth is a overhead charges. So today we discuss all the points one by one with examples and some of the important guidelines. Now we discussed on a provisional sum. So provisional sum is a amount provided in the step in the estimate and bill of the quantity for a some specialized work to be carried out by a specialist firm whose details are not known at the time of preparing estimate. For example, installation of a lift, installation of air conditioner, shifting of water line or a sewer line, and electric fitting. So in a provisional sum for a such item, a reasonable amount is provided in the estimate and a bill of the quantity is known as a provisional sum. Such a work are done through a licensed contractor or through a respective department engaged by the owner on a separate tender, and a payment for a work will depend on a basis of the execution but not necessarily be the same amount of provisional sum. The specification should be clearly state how and by whom the payment of provisional sum are to be made. Example like by owner or by the general contractor. In the latter case, the general contractor retain the power of overall control to work on it. Now second is a prime cost. So what is prime cost? When the quantity of the various item are being worked out, it is not always possible to define everything necessary for a completion of the proposed building. Certain items such as water supply, fitting, sanitary fitting, door and window fittings, etc. are to be decided by a certain to decide by the architect in the consultant with his client at some future date. Hence, the detail of such item are not worked out at the time of inviting the tender, but for the execution of such item, a lump sum amount is put in the bill of quantity. This amount is known as a prime cost. The supply of article will be made by the contractor receiving the instruction and approval of the engineer in charge regarding the quantity and price. The price to be paid to the contractor for a prime cost article will be actual price paid by him to the merchant, ignoring any cash discount which he might have received. Contractor is not allowed to profit on a prime cost, but he may allow to actual cost for a carriage if specified, and the prime cost article may also be obtained or purchased directly or through some other agencies. Next is the fixing of the prime cost article are usually done by original contractor, for which a separate rate are provided. Now next topic is a provisional quantity. When the quantity of the particular item are not a certain, provisional quantity are provided separate for a such item. For this purpose, measurement of the item are taken usually but kept separately in the bill quantity and marked as a provisional for a building if the nature of the soil is uncertain, and if it is thought that extra depth of the foundation will be required, then normal quantity of the earthwork, foundation concrete and brickwork will be calculated from the dimensions given in the drawing, and the additional quantity of the earthwork, foundation concrete and a brick due to probable extra depth are worked out separately, and this additional quantity marked as a provisional quantity in the tender and in the bill of the quantity of contract. The provisional quantity will be shown separately, and contractors have to quote the rate for a provisional quantities. By the payment of this quantity will be made on a completion of this item. It may be noted during the execution of extra that may not be required, and the amount against provisional quantity may not be paid. The advantage of such a provisional provision are that execution of the work does not get delayed due to sanction of revised estimate for the cost of execution quantity, and also in a schedule for schedule of contract. The probable variation of quantity can be shown perfect contract. Now next type of the topic is a spot item. There are certain items for which it is not possible for an estimator to fix an amount without seeing and study them in a detail. Such items are known as a spot item. The estimate of such item can be prepared only after inspection and taking detailed measurement at a site. So here some of these spot items are given, like demolishing of existing structure. Next is a constructing opening in the existing wall. Next is a clearing the site, and next is a connecting an old building to new building, etc. Next topic is a day work. The term day work is used to denote a procedure of costing or valuating an item of work on the basis of material used, the actual time taken by the labor and the equipment employed. The day work The day work is adopted for a certain complicated item for a work which cannot be measured, like a design of plasterwork, front architectural finishing of a building, work under a water and ornamental door, etc. Next topic is a contingency. The term contingency indicate that the incidental expenses of miscellaneous character which cannot be classified under any distinct item subhead, yet a yet per yet they certain to the work as a whole. To meet such a unforeseen expenses, an additional amount of 3 to 5% the estimated cost of the work is provided in the total estimate. Miscellaneous incidental expenses which cannot be classified under any subhead or item and are made from the amount provided under contingency. Like example, like suppose there is an item of estimated for a cement plastering, and proportion of the cement plastering is a 1:4 with neat cement finishing, but during the execution it is desirable to provide a noising at the end of the steps. As there is no allocation of a fund for this small work, the cost of such a work may be met up from a contingency fund. But in case an expenditure is necessary due to change of design or due to increase the volume of the work, and whose cost cannot be covered from the contingency fund, supplementary or revised estimate are submitted in the work before taking of start of the work. If there is any saving against the amount provided under contingency, this amount may be utilized with a sanction uh, sanction of competent authority to meet the expenses of extra item of work. And the provisional for contingency may not be diverted to any new work or repair work which not be provided in the estimate and which cost exceed rupees 2000 without the sanction of superintendent engineer. Now next topic is the work charge establishment charge. The work charge established will include the such a temporary establishment are as are employed for execution or or the immediate technical supervision or departmental store in a connection with the specific work. Work charge staff may be technical person or under staff or of the technical person to assist him to work a site or guard, etc. But a work charge staff does not include non-industrial employees such as a typist, draftsmanship, clerk, etc. Every payment made every payment made to member of work charge establishment, whether an account his wages of actual traveling expenses is charged to the work estimate on which they are employed. For such a work charge establishment, an amount of 2 to 2.5% of the estimated cost of work is provided in a estimate. Generally, the work charge person are employed on a monthly basis or a temporary basis according to progress of the work, and their service lasts for the sanction period but may be continued on a fresh sanction, and their service are terminable by 1 month's notice, 1 month notice for a 1 year continuous service, but for a less than 1 year service 14 days notice is required to terminate their service. Next is a water charge. So in this topic, for a drinking purpose of the worker and for the work arrangement of water either by sinking tube well or by taking temporary water connection from the corporation or municipal become necessary in order to meet up the expenses and amount of 1 to 1.5% of the total cost of material and labor has been provided in an analysis of rate. Now next is a overhead charge. So overhead charge include general office expenses, rent, taxes, salaries of office staff and other costs which are indirect expense and not productive expense on the job. The overhead charge may include under two heads. First is a general head and second one is a job overhead. So in a general head, some of the thing is included in a general head. So first is a establishment office staff, second is a stationery printing, third one is a postages, fourth one is a traveling expense, fifth one is a telephone, sixth one is a rent, seventh is a tax and eighth one is a electric bill. So these are the general overhead charge, and next is a job overhead charge. So salary of engineer or supervisor, handling of material, third one is a repair, carriage, and depreciation of tools and plants, generally called as a TNP, tools and plant, and amenities of labor. uh, Fifth one is a workman's compensation and insurance. Sixth one is a interest on investment. Seventh one is a lighting at a site, and eighth one is a public relation, and ninth one is a theft. So these are the different job overhead charges. Thank you.